All right, let's move to December 30th, and we have two bowls, starting with the Duke's Mayo Bowl at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, noon Eastern on ESPN. Wake Forest versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin at BetMGM is a 7-point favorite, over under 51.5. I mean, Wake Forest is a fraud. I've been screaming it all year. They've also had a couple key opt-outs. This team has benefited from some of the most extreme turnover luck I've seen in years. And, some of that imminent regression happened against Louisville. A decimated Louisville team beat them 45-21 in Wake Forest's regular season finale, which was, I believe, on December 12th. So Wake Forest catching 7 here. The problem is, if you want to fade Wake, which I was looking to do, is you have to lay 7 with Wisconsin. That's not necessarily the most appetizing thing I've ever seen. We saw them lay 11.5 against Minnesota and need a field goal in overtime to win that game. I mean, Graham Mertz has looked so bad. The defense is really good. It projects out really good. All of their underlying metrics are really good. But can you really lay 7 with Graham Mertz in that offense? That's ultimately the question. What do you see here in the Duke's Mayo Bowl between Wake Forest and Wisconsin?
And not to mention that Wake Forest is top 25 in pass coverage per PFF. So Graham Mertz doesn't get a free pass here in the bowl game. And, yeah, I thought the same thing you did when I saw Wisconsin -7, as this team just continues to burn me on these spreads. And the problem is they don't have any juice. And I think that might be the problem on both sides of the ball. So we'll start with Wake. Wake is out there, running back Kenneth Walker. Defensive end Carlos Basham is out. Both are pretty big losses. This isn't really home field advantage, but it's really only an hour and 15-minute bus ride for the Deeks to get down there. But the Wisconsin depth chart is going to include, according to Paul Chris, running back Jalen Berger, left tackle Cole Van Lanen, wide receiver Danny Davis, Kendrick Pryor. All these players missed the Minnesota non-cover, which would have helped in the handicap there. The Big Ten changed the COVID sit-out rules. I think it went from 21 to 17 days, so these players are going to be eligible to play in this game. And, Wake was not very good against the run. They were 110th in tackling. They were 93rd in defensive rushing success rate, 115th in defensive power success. They can't stop anything in the holes. So Jalen Berger, who we've been expecting to get a bigger workload for Wisconsin because he is elusive and can avoid tackles, he may have a big game if he gets more handoffs and there's no Carlos Basham there to play defensive end and just wreck Wisconsin. So that is a plus for Wisconsin here. But Kenneth Walker, he was more explosive than his backup, Christian Beal-Smith. I would say backup. They kind of, had time. If you look at their yards after carry, I mean, Kenneth Walker had 9 more avoided tackles with 2 less attempts than Beal-Smith. So I don't really think Kenneth Walker sitting out is, that big of a, that big of a deal. I just think that Wake Forest doesn't have the explosiveness that they had before, and Wisconsin hasn't had it all season. So you look at the Wisconsin defense, they have played well, top 10 in defensive line yards. Wake runs the ball 57% of the time. That's their offense. It's all RPO. Wisconsin is 4th in defensive finishing drives. The reason why I like the under in this game is because of this key stat. Wisconsin is 4th.
It's a snail versus speed racer, by the way.
Yeah, they are very. Yeah. Wisconsin's 122nd in seconds per play, but their defense is 4th in the nation in defensive finishing drives. So if Wake's going to cross that 40, they're going to have a hell of a time getting some points up on the board. But if you look on the offensive side of the ball for Wisconsin, they're 122nd in offensive finishing drives. So really, I see a problem getting points on the board. Maybe there's field goals, but I like the under 52 here. And like I said, to start everything off, Mertz is going against a top 25 pass coverage unit. Both of these offenses lack explosiveness. Wisconsin's had 4 straight non-covers and 4 straight unders, and I think that's the recipe here.